Now I know when I first gave a review on this series, I said Wade couldn't be trusted. It was just something about him that screamed, get out at all costs. He was too overprotective for someone who was just in love with Babe. And look at that. He's the enigma. He's the mole. He's the plant. He's the person that Mr. Tony wanted Babe to be with to create more powerful babes. It's crazy for him to sell them. Like, this story has gone left, but we love it. Because I knew he was into some creepy stuff, but I didn't think like human trafficking would have been brought into this series, and we're loving it. The twist and the turn, like I knew Wade couldn't be trusted, but I would have never thought that he couldn't be trusted in the way that he couldn't be trusted. And the crazy thing is, his specialty is paralysis. Like, or is it like mind control? I'm really like confused because in the context how he used his specialty, he basically put Charlie to sleep and basically stopped Babe's whole body. So I'm thinking, with the power of touch, can he make a person do whatever he thinks in his head at the moment of touching him? And how long does this last? Because you can see he can't hold two people at the same time. But he just can't be trusted. And I knew it. I knew it. I knew. It was just something about him. It was something about him. And I'm glad that Jeff was the one that found out because it's a level of vindication, especially when Wade was pushing real hard, just hating as, oh God, it was just, you know what? This episode gave me a level of vindication when it came to Wade. It was like, now we know what you really was about and what you meant by you gonna do to Babe what you should have did from the beginning. And from the beginning, he felt like he should have turned him into Mr. Tony. And they lived their blissful, crazy ass life together. Like he's Delulu. Wade is Delulu. And I'm so happy that now we know to a point who can be trusted and who can't be trusted. And what do we feel about North and Sonic? Also, Jeff and Alan. We are breaking boundaries here. We seen Jeff smile, get giddy. Alan, we're very optimistic for you right now. But we're going to get into this intro and then get into the recap of Pit Babe and Night&Dream.
How do you like it?
From the back with you pulling my hair and smacking my ass?
I meant the coffee.
Oh, it's great. Thanks.
Just because he's good for your hole doesn't mean he's good for you.
Just because he's good or my hole doesn't mean he's good for my soul.
Babe, what have we discussed? People lie on the internet. Don't listen to that.
If you don't know, now you know. Welcome back to Hashtag J Podcast. This is a podcast all about BL dramas, real BL couples, and all BL content, down to anime and manhwas. I think that's how you say it. We talk about it all BL content, all the time. And welcome to the BL Breakdown. We finally gave this a name. It makes sense. But if you're still with us from the intro, you already know how I feel about Way. Now, episodes 4 through 8 was literally everything. To a point, I kind of love binge watching my BL dramas. Watching them episode to episode, I roughly do for the channel and the podcast. But I personally just like binge watching because I'm somewhat of an impatient person, especially when it comes to series that I really like. It's nothing like one episode finishing and the next one is just like right there so you can find out right away what happens next. But from the holidays and just the whole month of December, I was very busy and just everything was just roughly all over the place. So I had to catch up on everything that I missed, and I wasn't able to make my usual reaction videos because we're changing that whole thing up. So stay tuned to that. But from what I gathered and what I caught, baby, I am very pleased with this series. And we already know Wade just cannot be trusted. It's like, girl, it's like, hey, girl, what was you doing? What was you thinking? Did you think that you was going to get away with it? Ooh, the goals. The audacity. She was giving bitter. She was giving Petty LaBelle. She was given, I'm so desperate, I'm just going to pull anything out of my bag just to get this man. She was given just so much negative energy. And the fact that she was a mole, we're not shocked. We see you. We see you. Whew. I had to get that out. But episodes 4 through 8 were really good. We learned that Charlie was one of Mr. Tony's his adoptive kids. And we learned that Charlie's specialty is absorbing other people's powers, which the only way they can get their powers back is by him dying. So we find out that the reason why Babe doesn't have his powers is because in hindsight Charlie absorbed and stole his powers. But we can see that Babe loved Charlie so much that he doesn't even care if he don't have his powers. He's just worried about him staying alive. And the fact that he has these powers, you learn at first you kind of think he may be upset about it. But as time go on, I feel like Babe feels like Charlie is more vulnerable because he doesn't know how to handle something he's been living with all his life. So he knows how to handle his specialties. Like he know how to handle his specialty. Where Charlie is just barely hanging on. Like he's just realizing how in the hell Babe made it through the day knowing he can smell, hear, and just basically be self-aware of everything all the time. So that chef's kiss, how they play that out. We see that everybody finally finds out about Jeff. Well, the people who need to know finds out about Jeff. So as of right now, the only people who know about Jeff's specialty is Charlie and Alan. And as you see, by Jeff letting Alan know about his specialty is just letting you know how special Alan is to Jeff. Alan is Jeff's attempt of letting people in, especially potentially someone as a lover. And we can see that Alan is in love with Jeff as Sonic and North notice it as well. Now, when it gets to them two, you notice how, God, I'm hoping I don't get their names mixed up. Dear God, I'm hoping I'm going to say the right one. When it comes to Sonic and North, if you notice how North jumped in and saved Sonic, and he was telling Sonic to run and to leave him and to basically save himself and go get help, that scene was so good. And I hope we get more of their love story, even if it's just a little bit. You can see that blossoming. Did you see Sonic's face when he saw that North was telling him to go? And the fact that as soon as Homeboy was about to beat Sonic, North jumped in front of those blows and took those blows from him for him. It was like when Charlie took those hits for Babe. Oh, like, this is what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Now, we get some more. We find out, we find out this in episode 9. But through 4 and 8, we find out that Mr. Pete is investigating Mr. Tony. And we're trying to figure out why he's investigating Mr. Tony. Now, honestly, I felt like he was one of Mr. Tony's kids because he looked at Kenta like he knew Kenta. You feel me? But, you find out in episode 9, I think it's either 8 or 9, that when they have that little chatterization, that they know each other. Like once Kenta looked at Mr. P, like in his mind and in his face, it was like, I know you. I know you. So we don't know Mr. Pete's specialty. We know you find out in episode 9 that he's an enigma too. So at the end of the day, we know that Mr. Tony thought that Way was his only enigma, but Mr. Pete is an enigma as well. And the craziest thing that I was prepared before we found out it was Way, before we found out Way was that little mole in Team Blue. I was rooting for Way and Mr. Pete. I was rooting for them, but it was like, you played yourself. It was like, how dare you? How dare you? And I'm just like, we about to have another coupleization. The coupling gonna be coupling. We thought the coupling was gonna be coupling. We find out that Kim got caught and Mr. Tony got him locked up, and he basically planning on selling his organs. From his threats is either his organs, his dead body. He gave us so many choices. The skies is the limit of what can happen to Kim. And we saw that North and Sonic tried to save Kim. Like North really tried to save Kim, him and Sonic, but mostly North, because he, like, after witnessing all that shit, North is like, yo, we gotta do something. I like North. North got gumption. And I feel like I hope we get more from him and Sonic. Because if I'm not mistaken, this series is about 14 episodes. Let's take a look. I think it's 14 episodes. Let's look. All right. So this series is... it's 13 episodes. This series is 13 episodes. So I'm hoping we get more of Sonic and North's budding love story. Also, I know we're going to get more of Alan and Jeff's budding love story. And I hope their first kiss scene is literally on point. Because one thing I can say is Babe and Charlie's intimate scenes they come off very genuine. So I'm hoping that this continues. It's not like contrived or very seem like it's struggling, like it's trying to give us intimacy when it's like Deep down inside, you feel like the actors are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to when it ends type of situation. Just speaking on intimate, we're going to touch on this. Now we at episode 9. Episode 9 was given. She was given. She was prepared. She was like, listen, I'm here. And I'm going to show you to a level all these beautiful queers. And we're just going to love it. And we did. We did. We loved every minute of it. And I'm looking forward for episode 10. I'm trying to figure out what the hell does Charlie does again? Because as you can see, him and Jeff have something planned. And you're learning that the whole plan was for Charlie to protect Babe off of visions that Jeff saw that was soon to happen. So Charlie at this point doesn't care if he dies as long as Babe is protected and he's okay. We see that they get into friction. This couple, Charlie and Babe, they really be having their moments. Like 1 minute they on, next minute they off. 1 minute they on, next minute they off. They really, go back and forth and have their rocky patches. But they pulled through, and this is just how they work, and we're loving it. They're a bit of a messy couple. They're a bit messy, but they're a messy that is enjoyable. Know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to episode 10. Like, I really am. And whatever they have planned, I'm trying to figure out exactly how Alan is going to take Jeff's role in it. Because as you can see, Alan made Jeff make a promise that before he do things, he will talk to him first. As you can see, they have a budding relationship. And we can see it looks like Jeff is going to have a rocky start to that promise, especially since it's him being there for Charlie. So it's a lot to unpack, but we condensed it. But now it's time for us to get into Night&Dream. If you have any points of views about Pit Babe, please drop your comments below. And we will retract this conversation because this series will have you in a level of anxiety. But a good anxiety because your anxiety is like, what's gonna happen next? Like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was gonna happen. It's like, who did that? Like, who's related to who? Like, it really had me all over the place. And I can't wait till we hear Mr. Pete's story and his specialty, and more so elaborating on his life in the what is it called? The Chin family group. What Mr. Tony? Mr. Tony, you just ain't shit. But let's get on into Night&Dream. Now, Night&Dream, the series, I like to describe it as a nice drink. I would say a nice white sangria or a really good margarita that sneaks up on your ass at the end of the night. Because this is what this series did to me. I really thought it was a sweet, fluffy type of BL series, but bitch, they get deep, girl. Girl, hey girl. Hey girl, hey. Come closer. Hey girl, hey. Come. They get deep. Okay? So in this series, I get it. Dream is the how should I say? He's the cook. He loves to cook, and if I'm not mistaken, the specialties are like maybe a dessert or like food type of quality rolled up in a pancake type of thing. And Night is into literature. He wants to be a writer. He loves reading books. And currently, he is failing his thesis which is a work of literature about love. As a man, he still in his mind feel like he hasn't experienced love. Now, in his literature, apparently it's basically the run-of-the-mill type of love story, which the professor wants his literature to stand out. He doesn't want the run-of-the-mill, the usual type of vibe you get with a love story, because I get what he's saying. You're not getting the real feel of the author. You're not really feeling the story. You're liable to put the book down because you already know how the book is gonna play out. And this is kind of what he's not getting. But through 1 through 4, this is what he's struggling with. These two get reconnected after being disconnected for about 4 to 5 years after Dream's parents passed away in a accident. Now, there's a young lady in the midst. Her name is I hope I say her name right. It's Namwan. Now, I was perusing on the BL. I still call it Twitter because to say X, it just sounds stupid. But I guess on a Twitter/X, but I was in the space. And I felt a lot of comments like when they said that they feel that Knight should have been very forthcoming with Namwan about his feelings, that he doesn't really like her like that. And I agree. He should have been very forthcoming to it to basically stop her from further embarrassing herself. But a part of me feels, and I said self, and self said, yeah. And I said, self, it looked like sis know that these two are in love, or she insinuating the idea, but she's trying to put her toe out there in the race so she can get there before Dream. But that's just not gonna work. Now, next episode coming up, let's just stick with 1 through 4. We learn that Dream and Night are still in love with each other after all these years. And we can see that Dream's friends, what are their names? I think one name is Zone and Kang. I think that's their name. Don't hold me to it. But Dream's friends already peep what's going on. And at first, when I was watching this series, I thought that Dream's sexuality was only known amongst his friends and his family. As you peruse on and get to episode 4, you learn that everybody knew Dream was gay. And he actually experienced a level of bullying and homophobia during, his childhood, because he get represented with his bully all over again for a food delivery. And in that instance, Night jumps in front of the punch for him. Now, Namwa and Night do go through a roller coaster of emotions. You see Namwa basically pushing Night to tell her how he feels about her. But years ago, she told him that she liked him and she kissed him, and he looked like he was like, what the fuck is going on when she kissed him? Let's get into the fact that he looked like, what the fuck is going on? Why is her face on my face? What am I supposed to do right now? That's the vibe he was given. And she was just like, oh, I'm going to give him the best kiss of his life. And it was just like a negative. So I feel like a part of Namwa knew that Night wasn't attracted to her. And with the next episode happening, I hope she navigates that in a smart way, because this series is only 6 episodes. So it's only 2 more episodes left. And they're roughly about 30 minutes long. So I'm curious to know how she's going to respond in the next episode. But when it comes down to my overall opinion of this series and my take on what I saw, I feel like the reason why Knight can't complete his literature, his thesis in the proper way that the professor wants him to complete it is because his characters are not representing the type of love that he's unaware that he's been feeling for all these years. He's writing a love story about a woman and a man. In all reality, the person he's in love with is a man. And it's Dream. I feel like in context, he can write the story as a woman and a man. It's just as he writes this story, and why I say what I say is because I feel like Knight feels like he's never been in love because he's never been in a serious relationship, specifically with a woman. So I feel like his character is categorizing for himself. The terms of love should be associated with a woman because he's straight. Now, when it comes to his feelings with Dream, I think it makes Knight question his sexuality. He's trying to figure out where do he land because he's highly attracted to Dream. As you see, like I told you, if you compare the kiss between him and Dream and him and Namwa, complete difference. I don't know which happened first, but I feel like Dream and Knight kissed before him and Namwa. And she doesn't know about it. Nobody knows about it. So it was very shocking to know that they kissed before. It was kind of like the past was repeating itself. And I really enjoyed this scene. You can see the difference in how Knight kissed Namwa versus how he kissed Dream. And it's just passion. And their kissing, like, let me tell you something. Their kissing it's believable. Like, it would not shock me if them two are really together. It's just, it was really great acting. And I feel like in this scene here is where it sits in basically Knight wondering and questioning his sexuality and basically questioning his feelings he has for Dream because he does the same thing. Like, he pulls back and he's just like, the flashback from the past, he stayed, but in the future he leaves because they're older now. So it's you wonder what type of feelings he was feeling. When it comes to the series, it it really brought on a lot. We see that Dream has to make a decision whether he takes the job in Japan or he extend his lease at Tokyo Boy. And it makes you wonder, what will Dream choose, you know? And Knight is not really making it easy. He doesn't know what to do with those feelings that he has for Dream. And it's very conflicting for Dream. I feel that if Knight is very forthcoming coming with his feelings, I think Dream would stay. And I want to know, who is this person that Dream is going to be hugging up on? Is this an ex-lover? Or is this another close friend? It's a lot of questions, but you can see that Knight is going to be going through it. But Knight is going to tell Namwa that he likes her. So I'm very curious. Or is he telling Namwa that he likes Dream? Because you know how they like to play. They make you think he's saying something to somebody and it be something totally different. So who knows? Who knows? Very curious. I'm very curious. This series is, I will honestly have to say, was really good. It was really good. Like, this scene here, it makes you wonder, like, what is Night going to do? Like, what is he going to choose? And it's very conflicting for him because he is he's in love with he's in love with Night. And I think he kind of feels like his life was moving smoothly before he walked up in his shop. And the next episode has you like wondering, like, what the fuck? Look at this. That's crazy. So it's just nuts. And it's like, who is this? Who is this person? Ooh. It's like, ooh, I can't wait for episode 5. Oh shit. See? I'm really curious on how this series is truly going to end. And it's 2 more episodes left. And I'm hoping that the come together story is seamless. Like, we love it down and may want a season 2. You know, sometimes I be wanting a season 2, but I guess the work of the BL drama is just that one season. But speaking of that, I hope we are getting a season 2 to Love in the Air. Kim Porsche. You can give us a second season of Unforgotten Night, because if you've seen I think I talked about this. Did I talk about it? I feel like I did. But y'all still got another love story in the mix that y'all can talk about. Well, actually, too, because you need to redo another one. Just a thought. But we can get more out of them series. I'm just saying. To the people. In the words of Funky Dineva. BL drama people. BL drama people. We want a season 2. Just saying. If you guys are not watching Pit Babe or Night&Dream, I'll tell you, go check it out. They're both amazing so far. Great. Chef's kiss. Both of them, I'm enjoying them. You can eat it up. Go ahead and binge it. All right? If you like, love, and enjoy our videos, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when we upload new videos. Also, to see full videos, don't forget to check out our Patreon. And also, until next time, you know, guys, be you, be amazing, be safe. Laters, beautiful people.
You asked me to do today. Don't worry, babe. I got you. Don't you know that I'm a demonic bottom? I know that. SOS help.
You look so cute today. You know why? Because you have to do my bidding.
I look cute, period.
Always.
Because it's purple.
Okay.
Purple is for the gays.
I purple you.
Oh my god, my heart is... It's not about the length, it's about the girth.
Okay, which one am I?
You're both lucky for me.